Jonathan Kenins here, and I'm taking a short break from my Pipeline of the Day videos to show you what I've been up to for the past month with my Massive Gold Blueprint members. And we've been doing what I call a gold speed run. This is actually the fourth speed run that I've put on with my members over the past couple of years. And I'll explain what the speed run is in a moment. First, let me show you my own speedrun toon here from this time through. He's actually sitting in the auction house in the Exodar, and you can see the kind of stuff that he's got going in the auction house here. Sales coming in for some typical high price goods. And so here's the character, Jono. He's actually a level 4 human paladin. And as you can see, he's just kind of wearing crap clothing right now. Just you know, the cheapest, crappiest stuff you can get in the game. No armor or weapons to speak of. But if you have a look over here at his bags, you'll see that you know, he has a surprising amount of high-end stuff. So this is a level 4 toon, and look, you know, abyss crystals and frozen orbs and greater cosmic essence, vision dust, eternals, so on and so forth. Lots of high-end herbs. And so quite an inventory of valuable goods to sell off. And you might be thinking, well, okay, whatever, that's just, you know, like a typical auction house banker toon, holding, you know, gold in inventory for high-level characters on the same account. But no, the really sweet thing about this particular toon, Jono, is, and the speedrun concept as well, is that this is actually the highest level toon that I've got on this particular realm. And if you're wondering, this is actually the Scryers US. That's the realm I'm doing the speedrun on, or have just finished doing the speedrun. So now how does this happen that I've got a level 4, it's my highest toon on the account, and he's got, well, if you look at the bags, 36,000 gold plus. And I was just showing you a minute ago the statistics from in-game. The wealth statistics, you can see total gold acquired of 89,000 plus gold, daily average of 2,716. Well, this is what the speedrun is all about. The idea of the event is that everyone entering this event starts a brand new toon from scratch. They're starting on a new server they've never played on before, and then for 30 days we all use my Massive Gold Blueprint method for playing the auction house, and just accumulate as much gold as possible using the MGB method, the blueprint method, for those 30 days. The rules are simple enough. You start with nothing at all. You roll brand new toons. You can't get any outside help at all. You can't, for example, you know, have friends hand gold off to you or anything like that. And then you literally just trade on the auction house for 30 days and get as much gold as possible, as fast as you can. So now when I tell people about this concept, you know, the first question usually comes up is, well, how do you get started if you're starting a brand new toon, a level 1, you got no gold? Well, the answer is it's actually pretty easy, because basically what we do is you just do a couple of the starting zone quests, and you sell off, you know, vendor the trash that drops off those starting zone quests, and then, you know, you sell the clothes off the back of the character, the weapon or whatever that's rolled when you first roll the toon. And you run into the city, in this case, you know, human running into Stormwind, with, you know, 1 silver or maybe 2 silver on hand. And then you parlay that into tens of thousands of gold, as you're seeing here. So in the first day or so, you know, starting with that 1 or 2 silver, you can literally get 30 or 40 gold pretty quickly. And, you know, we've got some little tricks that we use in the speedrun to get that going quickly. Basically, you just buy some ordinary cheap items from vendors right in the city, and sell those on the auction house to come up with some startup gold. And from there, it's really just straight auction house trading. You buy stuff that's underpriced, and then you sell for a profit. And here's how we score it. I was just showing you, let me show you again, the wealth sheet. So if you go into your achievements tab in the game, and then down at the bottom there's a statistics tab, and then if you click on character, there's wealth, consumables, reputation, blah, blah, blah. So if you look at the wealth sheet, this is where you see the scoring. So what we use for scoring is, and this is so we can keep things clear and verifiable and accurate, is we just use this in-game statistic of total gold acquired. And this shows exactly how much gold you've earned from auctions. So that's actually shown right here, gold earned from auctions. So it's about the same, 89,636. There's another 20 gold accounted for down here, gold from vendors, items that I've sold off to vendors where I was able to buy cheaper on the auction house than the vendor was willing to give me just to sell it off. And so, as you can see, it amounts to nearly 90,000 gold with a daily average for this toon of 2,716 gold a day. These are the actual numbers we use for scoring the speedrun, and I'll give you the overall results in just a second here, and you'll be astounded at how much you can actually accomplish using this startup method, 30 days using my gold blueprint method. But I'll show you the overall results for everybody in the speedrun in a sec. Now, if you do a little bit of math in your head, you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, the daily average that you're seeing here, 2,716 gold, that's actually based on 33 days because I'm actually doing this video after the end of the speedrun. So Gold Speedrun 4, we did it in July 2010. It actually ran from July 2nd to the 31st. So the average now is falling off a little bit just because I've basically stopped trading. I'm just selling off stuff. So, you know, if I go back and show you the auction house, you know, what I'm doing here, you just see I'm just selling off stuff that I've got in my bags and inventory. Again, you see I've just sold a bunch more stuff here. So I'm going to end up with probably right around 40,000 gold on this toon by the time I've sold the Abyss Crystals, Frozen Orbs, Eternals, the other expensive items. I've got various enchanting materials and so on. Stacks and stacks of stuff still to sell. I've actually got a guild bank on this character at this point after 30 days as well, just to handle all the inventory I've been moving. Okay, so that's the first thing. The average is actually, you know, it's more like I was doing about 2,800 or 2,900 a day for the 30 days. And that includes, you know, the low income days at the very beginning of the speedrun. And then second, you know, the gold accumulated that I'm showing you here, which is, you know, 90,000 gold, roughly speaking, is obviously a lot more than I have gold on hand. So what's that all about? Well, it's because the amount acquired is the actual volume of sales, the actual amount sold on the auction house, but obviously the profit margin is less than that. So in other words, if I buy a Frozen Orb for 20 gold and I sell it for 30 gold in the auction house, I've made a profit of 10 gold, not 30 gold. So this stat is showing us that I've sold nearly 90,000 gold worth of stuff, but my actual profit is the amount you see on hand in the bags of 36,000 plus. As I say, that'll run up to about 40,000 gold profit on about 100,000 gold in sales by the time I've sold everything off. And the reason we use this gold acquired stat is because it's just the fairest way to, you know, assess results on an even footing. So just bear that in mind. That's what these numbers are all about. Okay, so that's the concept. And I think you'll probably agree that this is an incredible result, however you measure it, for 30 days of playing starting from scratch. So remember, you can do this like we do. You never even bother leveling up a toon. You can have all this gold ready for the toons you decide to level up on a brand new server, for instance, and you'll never have to even think about gold. You just buy all the best stuff you want in the game. And in fact, the prizes that I'm giving, we had 3 prizes. There were 2 categories, and I also gave a sort of a Rookie of the Year award to a person who just literally started using this method 2 days before the speedrun began. I'm actually giving away chopper mounts, so Mechano Hogs and Mechgineer's choppers, to the 3 winners that we've declared. And I'm using, to fund that, I'm using just this amount of gold that I've earned. Actually, it's the total is divided between Horde and Alliance factions on for my own results. I've got about 50,000 gold because I also did my speedrun on the 2-faction challenge, so I was doing Horde as well as Alliance, and I came up with about 15,000 gold in cash on hand on the Horde side. So overall, more than 50,000 gold after 30 days of play. And so everybody's getting choppers, which are worth about 15,000 gold apiece. That's how I'm using the gold I've accumulated on the speedrun. Now I'm going to go on to a second chunk of this video, and part 2, and show you the results overall for 32 people who took part, 32 members of my Massive Gold Blueprint membership who took part in this challenge, and you'll see just how powerful this system really is.